Hi, Linda Sessions here, and welcome to Module 2, An Introduction to Business. So last week you introduced yourself to the class, and then you also looked at Introduction to Business, just a basic overview, the effects of global business, and also the effects of a capitalist economy, how you felt about that, as well as doing a module quiz. So that was week 1. Week 2, we're going to be looking at being a socially responsible company, and we are also going to be looking at how you can start your own business. So let's jump into Canvas and take a look at how the class is set up for Module 2. So here in Module 2, you've got your list of assignments, and then you have the reading from the textbook. I changed this from reading assignments. This is the reading. There are no assignments that when you click here that will take you to the assignments. These links take you directly to these chapters in the textbook. So this first one would take you to chapter 3, demanding ethical and socially responsible behavior. So you want to read through the chapters so that you understand the concepts of the chapters so that you can make good choices when you go to take the quiz, and also so that you can answer the discussion board questions. And in this case, there's a mini case that has to do with all of the information that you had and that you locate and learn about in chapter 4. So let's look at the chapter 3 text. So here we have the objectives, talking about why obeying the law is only the first step in behaving ethically. And this is from the business point of view. There's 3 questions that you need to answer if you're faced with a potentially unethical action. What are the management roles? What is the difference between compliance-based and integrity-based ethics codes? And there are 6 steps to set up a corporate ethics code. What are those 6 steps? Also need to be able to define the difference between corporate social responsibility and corporations' responsibilities and their various stakeholders. What is that difference? And to analyze the role of U.S. businesses in influencing ethical behavior. So these are the learning objectives for this chapter. So you want to look through those, read through the chapter, and right up here is where you go from page to page. And like I said in the first video, you want to look through the pages, read through the pages, look at the pictures, look at what is in the red boxes. And then also I strongly recommend here looking at the table of contents and maybe going to look at the summary of the chapter and looking at the key terms. Now, as some of you noticed in the quiz questions, everything isn't covered in the summary. There's a lot of information in these chapters, but the summary is a great place to start, to understanding what's in the chapter. I'm going to do a separate video over the chapters here. For this video, it was just an overview of the entire week. So in chapter 3, it's talking about demanding ethical and socially responsible behavior. So chapter 4, you're looking at how to form a business. Now, my brother has his own business here in town, and so I've talked to him a lot about running his own business. But what you're going to want to look at in order to be able to answer the questions that come with the mini case in chapter 4, you're going to need to really understand the differences between the sole proprietorship, the partnership, and corporations. And what is a franchise? What is a cooperative? What are the differences between those? So there's a lot of different things in here. If you are thinking about starting your own business, this is one chapter that you really want to pay attention to get an idea, what type of business do you want to start? And there is one area, which form of ownership is for you. So there's a summary and the key term. So it's just some different things to look about and to think about. If you're thinking about forming your own business, how do you do that? So those are chapters 3 and 4. Back here in the module, it's going to take you then to your discussion board. And the discussion board for chapter 3, I want you to think about, in your opinion, which area of social responsibility is the most important for businesses. So there's different areas of social responsibility. How are you going to know what those are? By reading chapter 3. So why is that important? And again, if you reference a section in the textbook, make sure you put the page number down. If you reference an article, which some of you have put some articles out on the first one, and those were some really interesting articles, put a link to the article. Let me know where you found that article. But which area of social responsibility do you feel is the most important for businesses, and why? Again, please don't just post this into artificial intelligence, AI, ChatGPT, Claude, one of those, and then copy and paste. This is your opinion. I want to know how you feel about it. So the next discussion board question is looking at, for chapter 4, is looking at why are so many new businesses choosing a limited liability company form of ownership? So you need to understand, well, what is an LLC? Why are so many new businesses doing that? And then which form of business do you think you would do if you were starting your own business, and why? Again, this is your opinion. Do not copy and paste from AI. I want to know what you think. If you're going to start your own business, what type of company would it be? Would it be an LLC? Would it be sole proprietorship? What would you do? Again, for both of these, in order to receive your full points, you need to post your responses as well as reply to somebody else. You can always go back to this discussion board grading criteria that's in the module here in Canvas, and it lets you know this is what I'm looking for when I'm looking at your discussion posts. I am looking for, definitely looking for business English. Make sure you don't use a lot of texties, a lot of acronyms. Make sure you capitalize your text as you're doing it. 10 points is from your response to the topic, and then the other 10 points comes from your response. So it's 50-50. So big part of it is your reply to somebody else. So I want you to be, make sure that your post is 2 or 3 paragraphs long. Don't just, especially when you reply, don't just say, yeah, I agree. Well, why do you agree? Put some thought into it. Try to post early in the week. I would suggest posting by Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, and that way people have a chance to come back and reply to something when they come back and look at it. Then later in the week, go back and don't just reply to the first one you look at. Look through all of them and reply to them. You only have to reply to one. If you do a reference, make sure you use MLA or APA format. I don't care which one. I just want some continuity in your response if you do a citation. And I just want your opinion in these, all right? So if you wait until the last minute, you're not going to have a lot of depth or creativity or clarity in your posting. So post early in the week, think about it, and make sure you reply to somebody. There's 2 discussion boards due this week. The other thing that is due this week is a chapter 4 mini case. And when you select that, here it is. It is going to, there we go. It's going to give you this mini case that pops up, and you need to read through this mini case. And it's all about Gina Rader's passion has always been cars, cars, cars. And she is talking about her company and some of the issues that she's running into with having this company. I mean, she wants to focus on doing cars, but she's so bogged down in other stuff that she's needing to think about, how do I have my company set up? What do I need to do different? There's 5 questions. This is worth 20 points. And those questions all have to do with different types of ownerships and what should she do with this company going forward. So look through chapter 4. It's going to help you be able to answer these 5 questions with this mini case. The other thing you have is the Module 2 quiz. It's worth 25 points. And remember, it is open book. The questions are from chapter 3 and chapter 4. But it's not going to take you as long to take the test if you make sure you do your work from chapter 3 and chapter 4 ahead of time, and take notes as you're looking through those chapters. So this is chapter 2. We're looking at, or module 2, sorry. We're looking at chapter 3, demanding ethical and socially responsible behavior, and chapter 4, how to form a business. You're going to be doing a discussion board from each one of those chapters, a mini case from chapter 4, and then you're going to be doing the module 2 quiz. And everything is due on September 1st. Reach out if you have any questions. We can do a phone call or we can do a Zoom meeting, whichever you prefer. I am here to help you be successful, so don't be afraid to ask questions. Have a great week and enjoy learning more about the world of business. Bye.